Greetings and salutations one and all. Welcome to a brand new week right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. How you doing? It's community and finance night. And tonight you're in for quite the treat.
I will be your zaddy, 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 your sugar daddy, zaddy, zaddy.
The track is called Zaddy. And this is how we're going to kick it off tonight. It's on a Leon Caldero. So listen, I'll be your Zaddy. Him says, no, not me. Don't get it twisted. He said, I will be your zaddy, your sweet sugar daddy.
Your sugar daddy, zaddy, zaddy. Well, if you had that stage,
I want to say big ups to everybody locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Those hailing from across the pond, One Harmony Radio, top of the morning to you over there in the UK. Big ups to all those on WGLRO, home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show. The People Station taking you from the sheets to the streets. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Those locked in.
If you want to explore, you will be secure. I can open any door and give you more and more. Girl, you meet up with a man that clearly understand how to lend a hand and make your business expand. Girl, with everything I want to be your. There's only secrets.
I want to say big ups to those locked in on Island Worldwide. My apologies for the late tap in. Big ups to those on NIE Radio over there in New Jersey. I hear the conditions are getting a little bit better for you guys in New York and New Jersey. Hey China, Gary, I know you have each other to keep each other warm and stuff, but yeah, good, right? I want to say big ups to those once again on Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Those locked in on PEMGTV.com. Of course, everybody who are locked in, everybody who is locked in on Facebook Live, big up to the livers. Remember, it's only temporary on Facebook Live, so use the link in the description. Yeah, the site is still down, but the link directs you to PEMGTV.com. thanks to the Multimedia crew for facilitating me on PEMGTV.com. Yeah, man, that is where the real TV side come from, you know. And they just give it the capabilities of having it on KevinStew.com. But as they continue to work on KevinStew.com, I thank them. Speaking of which, thank you Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. When being in the moment is priceless, they provide innovative streaming and recording solutions. So if you have an event you want to stream live, just like I'm doing right now with my broadcast, a seminar, church service, funeral, wedding, graduation party, you name it. Give them a call, 754-999-6020. Or check them out online, pulseemg.com. I want to say also thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you with 20 years of experience and without COVID-19. And she'd like to leave with 20 years plus an hour of experience and no COVID-19. So give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at thealater@att.net. Outside of paying her, she only requests that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done, because guaranteed you're going to fall asleep. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, take care of your tour management, handle your publishing, business registration, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034, or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. And big ups to GMATMusicSolutions.com. GMAT Music Solutions provides sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers. They bring your event to life. So give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. Or check them online, GMATMusicSolutions.com. Much respect, GMAC. Leon Caldera says, I will be your Zaddy. The track is called Zaddy. Yeah, Leon will be a Zaddy, you know. Not me, not DJ Kevin Stew. Don't say that. Bless up, Roy. How you doing, brethren? Which radio station? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You have One Harmony Radio, and they're all online stations. So you have One Harmony Radio, you have Island Worldwide, you have NIE Radio, you have the Foundation Radio Network. Pick, choose, and refuse, bro. And of course, there's always KevinStew.com, home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. The site is down right now, but it sends you to the video still, so you can still participate in the chat. And we are very much interactive. So without much more ado, I present to you the person of the moment, the one who has agreed to take up the mantle. She's on every fourth Monday of the month. And she's as sweet as sugar. Hello, attorney, sweet attorney. Are you there? Hello? Attorney Simmonds, are you there? Are you with me? Hello? I don't know. I somehow lost her and now I'm getting her back. Okay. I think I got you back.
I can hear you.
Oh, you could hear me, but I couldn't hear you.
Could.
That's strange.
Okay.
That's so strange. Yeah,
How
so
are you
here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only pure sugar. Yeah, she is.
Oh, Lord.
As sweet as sugar and just about as dangerous too. Don't be on the wrong side of the courtroom where that she is in. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only attorney Tasha Simmonds.
Good evening. How's my DJ tonight?
Listen, I'm cool, you know. I'm hanging in there. I had one of those long trying days.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I have those days, one of the things I always look forward to is a night like this, whether it be Monday night, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night, on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Melissa, welcome. Glad to see you chiming in on Facebook Live. You guys over there on Facebook Live, just remember, it's only temporary, so use the link. In fact, let me pin a link in the chat right here on Facebook that takes you straight to the website. So it's PEMGTV.com, and I'm going to pin that right there for you guys. All right, so kevinstew.com is getting some work done. But if you use kevinstew.com, that's fine. It'll take you straight to PEMGTV.com landing page, where you can see what is going on also and interact in the chat room there. So numbers to call, numbers to text. Let me get that out the way really quickly. 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. But comment in the chat. Please comment in the chat. You do have the opportunity to call also. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. Okay. So down to business. Down to
business.
Let me take that off the screen. Tonight we're talking about some child support myths, and you are a family attorney, which so people got introduced to you last month, or should I say reintroduced, because
right.
you it was a few years ago that they were first introduced to you on the night shift, and some of the long-time listeners would remember you from back then. So
right.
You were reintroduced, and I didn't even touch on the musical side of you, but don't worry.
What? Oh boy. Were we gonna touch that? Oh dear.
But that one there, I think is an ace I'll keep up the sleeve for now.
Well, thank you for the warning.
Okay. Yeah.
I will be.
I make sure that you stay just warned, not too warned. I don't want to give you too much. Oh
no, you let the cat out of the bag. It's over. It's over, man. You messed up.
But you are a family attorney, operating out of South Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But your services aren't only restricted to South Florida per se.
This is correct. This is correct. I'm based in lovely Fort Lauderdale, but I have clients in different parts of the state, uh, West Coast, Central Florida, North Florida. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have clients out of state. I have several clients out of state. As long as your case is pending here,
Yes.
you know, I can assist you. And so,
And you
well,
do consultations on occasions.
oh gosh, I'm always consulting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm consulting every day. It comes to the. You talked about the kind of day you had. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Yeah, I know.
I'm thankful for the night shift too. I'm here. I have my tea in my mug, and I have a glass as well with something else in it.
I well, you are in the privacy of wherever you are. So
Hmm.
I'll leave it be. Your
Yeah,
open
we're
container
gonna kick back
is
and
just that, your open container.
that's it. There you go. I'm not driving, Florida. I'm not driving. So, but yes, my consults, it's always free for the first one. So it's shorter, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's free. So
Okay.
yeah, so I do a lot of consulting.
So tonight, though, we're gonna be talking a little bit about child support and child support myths.
Yes,
Now,
we are,
the,
and I'm telling you, we have more than enough myths out there to bust.
all right.
Or what I
So,
call barbershop tales, barbershop fables.
what would be one of the most common of those myths? Let's start with that.
The most common myth as far as how the legal process goes, and not all of these myths are squarely legal.
Mm.
We're going to talk about the system too,
Okay.
and the matters of, the heart and all of that nice stuff. But one of the most common legal myths I come across is that if the parents have what they call split custody, or now what we call equal time sharing,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no child support.
Mm.
And when I tell you, I see parents that pay child support, usually dad, right?
Yeah.
I see dads get sandbagged in court
Mm.
based on that belief. Well, we have equal time sharing, or I asked the court for 50-50 and I got it. What do you mean I have to still pay $300, $600, $100, $800 a month of child support? We have 50-50.
Right.
Oh, yes. Yes. So
Is it is
I
it
would love, was that?
is it that the system is so skewed towards the mother that ends up being the problem, or
That
it's
is
just that people don't
historically,
really know
yes.
what they're doing?
It's a combination of those things. It's a
Mm.
combination of those things. So
So how does it really
historically,
go?
how does it really go? That's the big thing. So it's both simple and complex, right?
So the
The good
complexity
news
lies in
is,
the simplicity. Can that sound like a description of me?
listen, tell me the square root of 1,586, right?
Uh
I
huh.
mean, that's not a complicated question. You know what I'm asking you to do, but doing it is complex. So
Right.
that's what I mean.
Right.
So the good news about how does it really go is that it's not arbitrary. It's not unpredictable. You know, there's actually a formula that the courts must use.
Mm.
when they're predicting or when they're establishing child support. Um, that runs me into another myth, actually.
Mm.
Okay, before I even get into the formula, another myth I see is that the child support is um, it doesn't take into account what I can afford, right?
Oh,
As the person paying child support, usually that. Yeah,
right.
and it does. The very first thing the courts look at when they're going through this formula is how much each parent makes, how much money,
Mm.
you know? So, and I'm going to tell you where where you can still get messed up. But by and large, that's where it starts. They look at it like a pot. So if I'm mom
Mm-hmm.
and you're dad, and let me always say hypothetically because I don't want to get you in trouble.
It's one of my I want to be more than them.
Right, right. So if I'm mom making $2,500 a month,
Mm-hmm.
your dad making $7,500 a month,
Mm-hmm.
the law looks at us as a combined income pot.
Mm.
Okay, of
Okay.
yeah, of $10,000
So,
a month.
all right.
That's step one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so step one, they're taking your income into account. So stick a pin on step one
Mm-hmm.
because in my years of doing this, I've seen some pretty cute, I'll use the word cute, some
Mm.
pretty cute tactics
Mm.
employed by both moms and dads when it comes to augmenting or changing their income to try to get the best result. You- it amazes me.
And they do that within legal parameters.
Oh, they try. They try. It amazes me. It's just like how all of a sudden, every time we get, it's like everyone magically loses their job right before trial
Mm.
without almost, I won't exaggerate, almost without fail, DJ Kevin.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I lost my job. So, if you're the payor, then it's like, well, I can't really pay nothing, I lost my job. And if you're receiving it, say, well, I've seen uh payees,
Mm-hmm.
people receiving child support or who were to, they were going to receive child support, magically, in quotes, lose their source of income because they weren't happy with what the number was going to be and thought maybe if I make less, I can get more.
Oh wow.
Hmm. But the law is prepared for that.
But
The law is
sometimes
prepared for that.
does it happen that sometimes that gets missed though? Is there some cases that fall through the cracks and the person that is hustling gets away with it? That
Oh, yes.
okay.
Yeah, it can happen. And, it happens a lot with self employed individuals,
Mm.
especially those who do not do taxes,
Okay.
who don't file taxes. You know, it doesn't always work. It fails far more often than it works. It hardly works, right? Because if you are the potential payer and you have the child support office, formerly formerly known as the Department of Revenue,
Mm-hmm.
their child support arm, or a lawyer like me on the other side, we're gonna catch it.
Mm.
We're never going to hear that you lost your job and just go, oh, too bad for that guy.
Right. Oh, sorry to hear that.
but that, but if I'm representing someone, who has lost their income, there are ways to make sure that things are fair.
Got you.
But generally, the law is going to say, look, if you are unemployed on purpose,
Mm.
even if you're employed and you're not making as much as you could be making on purpose, or what they call underemployed, we are going to disregard your magical misfortune, and we're going to
Mm.
calculate the child support like you still had the income anyway.
Got you. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Let's
Right?
let's go
So,
ahead and level that playing field. Basically, is what the coach
right,
is saying.
right. And I wonder, as much as it's happened, because I mean, come on, yeah, I've been, practicing over a decade now, but I haven't seen. Come on, I'm not 20 years in, 25. As much as it happened, you would think that this is something that would get around, you
Mm.
know, and sort of make it into the zeitgeist out there,
Mm.
and become another popularly known fact. But it happens all the time still, as if nobody really knows. You cannot come and just stop working your overtime all of a sudden, or you know leave your job. you know you have to, like with overtime, you have to prove that it wasn't on purpose. So, if you've been making a certain amount of money and now all of a sudden no information is available for you, the court can even look back 5 years.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
And base their calculations on looking back those 5 years.
They can. They can. They never leave themselves without a way. you know how they say there's a will, there's a way, DJ?
Right.
Right. So the Florida paternity courts, the law says where there's a bill, there's a way. You know.
So,
Um.
so here you have an individual that says, "Oh wait, I went through this calculator and it looks like if I didn't have a job or if I wasn't making this much money, I would either be paying less or receiving more, as the case may be,
Mhm.
based on the calculator." And
Mhm.
so they actually quit their jobs and get a lesser paying job.
Yes, I have seen willful demotions. I have seen willful resignations. I have seen willful abandonment of overtime, willful furloughs. I mean, it's just,
Mm, mm,
you know,
mm.
it's especially the less formally you get paid,
Yeah.
the easier it can be to try to pull these things off. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work all the time.
So let me then ask if it is if you manage to go into court. So here we are, me with my 75 and you with your 2500,
Hmm.
and uh my 75 gets cut in half mysteriously, and I present that to
Hmm.
the court and they bite.
Hmm.
If later on this year, or well, let me ask, how long does it take to be able to revise that, or to inquire about that, or to see if there's a change in income? Or is there a way
Okay.
to look in after that judgment is passed to see
Mm-hmm.
if there needs to be an adjustment? But before you answer that, let me
Mm-hmm.
say goodbye to those on Facebook Live. Jump on over to the user link in the description. Jump on over to pemgtv.com, where we are hanging out for the rest of this evening. Deuces to you
Yeah.
guys. And do remember, it will be uploaded, this broadcast will be uploaded to various platforms, podcast platforms, by tomorrow. So look out for that. Whichever platform your favorite podcast platform is that you use, iTunes is not yet ready, but you have Spotify, you have Google, you have TuneIn, you have Anchor, you have um, what was it? Amazon and Audiobook. So you have all those options and more. Just look up the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew, and you're off to the races. All right, cool. So jump on over, use the link in the description, those on Facebook Live. And once again, numbers to call, numbers to text, 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. Okay, so go ahead. So
What you're everywhere, DJ. You're the boogeyman.
I try to be as many places as possible.
Can't get away from you. That's what's up. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
yes, your question that is currently on the floor, and then we
Mm-hmm.
finish up step one of
Yeah.
how the court figures this thing out.
Yeah.
So, in a word, yes, there is a way to revisit the child support number if the circumstances change, right?
Is there a time limit
And
on that?
actually, no, with child support, once there has been a change of a certain amount in the incomes, and if that change is going to be, if that change is permanent, then you're off to the races. You can go back and say, the child support needs to be adjusted. I no longer make this bona fide, right?
Mm-hmm.
I no longer make this. Or now my co-parent makes that, or a combination,
Mm.
right? So you can do that. You can do that at any time, right?
So
So,
we went to court today, and
hmm
whatever. So the judge said, okay, for the two kids that we have together, you're going to be paying 500 $800 a month.
hmm
And next week I can go back and say, but Your Honor, I know this is what you said last week, but you need to look at this again because she is
oh, you
making
mean
XYZ. Is there a
look at
time
it
limit for that?
again with the same circumstances upon which the original decision was based?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now that's a little more trouble right there.
Oh no.
That's a little more trouble right there, yes, sir. Because now you're getting into the general rules of how do you change or challenge a court order once it's been entered.
Got you. All right.
So everyone, if you don't love the decision the judge just made, then there are rules that allow you to go back after 10 days, 15 days, and ask for them to look at it again. And then if you don't get what you want there, then you can take an appeal and go to the next level court above, the trial judge or the regular judge.
Oh.
Um, you don't want to do that for child support. I've had to do one of those. I had a gentleman come to me. He represented himself at trial, and uh, I don't want to disparage the bench to the public.
Mm.
Um, I I could think of no other reason why the judge would calculate the child support this way, other than he he wanted to. The lawyer for the mom was his buddy, and
Wow.
my client had no lawyer. I didn't meet him until after trial. He hired me to do his appeal.
Right.
And the rules of calculating child support are so plainly set forth and have been around for so long. There just really was no reason the court missed the steps. I mean, there aren't even a bunch of steps. And honestly, there is proprietary software that the courts use. So it's not like any judge has to uh, exert any mental effort, really, to calculate child support once they have the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You're plugging in numbers, and out pops the child support.
As simple as that.
That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, presumptively, right?
Okay.
Of course, there's always room for tweaking and permutations as
Right.
each situation might need, but presumptively,
Mm-hmm.
you get the numbers, you plug them into that program, and out pops the child support. Um, but yes, yes,
So we're talking within the same month.
you better do it within the same month if you want the judge to revisit what they did, because after that you're out of luck. You have to do it within the time frame, right? So there are rules where if you want to challenge what the judge did based on this rule, you have 10 days. If you want to challenge what the judge did based on this rule, you have 5 days. If you want to take an appeal, you have 30 days. And of course, as is common in my profession, you have all of these little exceptions and side roads and things like that. But
You find the
generally,
loopholes.
we
Okay.
try to turn them into loopholes whenever we can.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, we want to be zealous advocates for our clients. So, um, yeah, you definitely want to strike while the iron is hot.
Okay. So here we are, and going back to the initial thing where I presented the case was presented and the ruling is made. So boom,
Hmm.
this is what they're go. Let's go back to that myth, that first myth that whomever makes more money either get less or pay more.
Right. So let's go back to step one.
Yeah.
So now we're a combined. The, the formula has established that you and I are a combined pot of $10,000 a month.
Right.
Okay. Now the second step is, what is the child support obligation number? Not the child support itself, not the end result,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is the guideline number? There's a guideline, a literal chart. If you look at the laws of the state of Florida, if you go online and look it up, it's a literal chart pasted into pasted into the statute.
Mm.
And basically it says, okay, if the combined income pot is this much, then the guideline amount is this much if you have X amount of kids,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So I'm tempted to even go to the real guideline while I'm with you, right? But say hypothetically, for until I get there,
Mm-hmm.
the guideline amount for two people making what we make is $800 a month. I can assure you. You said, well, how many children are in this hypothetical again? I thought I said one, but it sounded like you say two. How many kids we have?
I was, there was this one time where we were
Yeah.
celebrating that one thing, and then the other kid came along. So
Oh boy. Okay.
okay, so let's go with the one.
Let's go with the one.
it, it
Hypothetically,
wasn't
remember
proven that the second one is mine.
Listen, I value my life. You say hypothetically, I don't want nobody after me.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
we have that one child.
Right. So, here it is. The guideline chart. I'm pulling it up right now.
Hmm.
So for one child, the state of Florida thinks that we could or should be spending $1,437 on that child per month.
Got you.
So, and this is where the conversation can get political, because my thing is, this number is supposed to represent the child's need. There's an argument, if a child needs a certain amount spent on them per month, what does it matter, right?
Hmm.
What the parents make. The child needs what they need,
Right.
right? So there's a cost of living consideration behind these numbers, right?
Okay.
A lifestyle element to it,
Hmm.
right? So for us, the guideline amount is $1,437,
For us,
right?
making a combined $10,000 a month.
Right. That's how much we're spending in their mind, right? On one child.
Okay.
Mind you, this child could be a teenage boy eating half of that.
Right.
But that's what they think we should be spending for the kid. Now, that's still just, the second step, right? You don't want to look at that and go, oh my gosh, you're supposed to pay me. Kevin, you're supposed to be paying me $1,400, man. I want my money.
For our child that we have 50-50 custody over.
Kevin, I want my money.
We're gonna have to work this out. Come on now, Tasha. We're gonna have to work this out.
Okay, so the next part of the calculation, right? Is basically geared, or next parts rather. The rest of the calculation, the rest of the steps are basically geared toward figuring out how much of that $1,400 I'm supposed to be paying and how much you're supposed to be paying. Right?
Okay.
Because child support is the responsibility of both parents. So even though a payment is being made one to the other, both are supporting.
Mm-hmm.
So me, I would want to say, well, Your Honor, I'm only 25% of the income pot, so I should only be paying 25% of the $1,400. So make Kevin pay 75% of that $1,400 to me.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that, right? But not so. All right. The next thing the court is going to do is look at who is paying what. So how many myths have we addressed so far? There's the 50-50 myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 50-50 point
Custody.
blank period myth.
Yeah.
Right. There's they pull the number out of thin air myth. We're addressing that right now. Right? Okay. And then I guess you kind of brought up once they set the child support, I'm stuck forever.
Yeah.
That's a common misunderstanding.
Okay.
Right? So now we're on myth number 4. You write these down as I go along. You add it to my list, DJ Kevin.
I'm sorry. It was because of that party that caused the almost second child. That one Yeah.
Eh-eh.
That
You,
celebration.
to, to, to part of some mind expanding activities. Now you're expanding my list. Eh? No problem.
So,
So this myth now is regarding what can I, or what could either of us get credit for with the child support?
wait, so that is considered in the calculations also?
Oh
The
yes.
tax credit?
No, not the tax credit.
Oh,
Credits for expenses that we pay on behalf of this kid.
okay, got you. Okay, all right.
We'll get there too. And that, trust me, that's gonna be a short conversation, unfortunately. That's gonna be a very short one. So I've had men, in my experience, men
Mm-hmm.
who were looking down the barrel, staring down the barrel of a child support order. Right? It was coming their way. They came to me. They wanted to be prepared. And I've been handed binders full of receipts
Mm.
before. Okay, with Family Dollar receipts for Pampers, uh, Publix receipts for
Formula.
formula,
Mm-hmm.
you know, furniture for the child's room,
Mm.
clothing, sneakers, all the sneakers receipts. Oh gosh,
Because they have to
right?
have the Jordans and the whatever name brands and whatever.
For their kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, things.
The parent
I
not wearing
mean,
it. Me.
fat folder, like to wear the folder side bent up.
Wow.
And I had to break the news. This is not what the court is looking for
Oh.
when it comes to credit
So
in the child support calculation. No, no, no.
so wait. But wouldn't food, clothing, um furniture, wouldn't that all fall under necessities?
Yes, and that's precisely why it doesn't count as child support. So I'm going to try to
Gotcha.
keep, yes, because
As parents, we should be
there are
working to take care
certain
of that
things,
anyway.
exactly.
Gotcha.
And there are certain things that the legislature had in mind when they were coming up with that 1437, with that guideline amount, right?
Mm.
That's not necessarily one of them, these day to day things. So here's what they're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make adjustments. They're looking for who's paying health insurance. If there's health coverage, who pays that each month?
Mm.
Okay. If they're out of pocket health costs, and by health I mean medical, dental, and vision. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they're out of pocket costs, who's paying those? Right.
Right.
Um, and then number 3, very short list, is daycare. Childcare, whether it be daycare or aftercare.
Okay.
If you are paying, who pays the daycare? Who pays the childcare? Those have the biggest impact, the greatest impact. Now, that's not to say if you've been, because there's been cases where, maybe the payor, dad, maybe you weren't paying the health insurance or the child care, but you gave me some money for rent or the mortgage. Well, the court can consider that and credit you, even though it's not a part of the calculation how it is typically configured, because that's the type of expenses the legislature had in mind when they came up with the 1400.
So they will look at you paying a portion of the rent, but they won't look at you buying furniture.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That's kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
that $1,400 then they're looking at is to say, all right, this should cover um I can't even say it as living expenses.
Right, but they're living expense related considerations,
Yeah, because
right?
your food is a living expense, but it is not considered in the grand scheme of that 1,400. However,
Even
if
though
a
it's
part of the
recurring.
rent or insurance, that would be considered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Insurance would be considered.
But the clothes
Listen,
not
I'm not
considered.
saying rent is, listen, rent, they don't typically drop rent in the consideration, but the court can make an adjustment for it.
Okay.
They can make an adjustment for it because they took all of that, what you would typically be paying for rent at your income level, what I would typically be paying for rent at my income level. All of those things went into those guideline numbers. So if something's off there and you are giving me money for that, the child is benefiting from that.
Right.
So that should be a credit to you, right? But things like, food, shoes, those day-to-day necessities that I also have to buy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it does not get that type of treatment in family court.
Okay.
Okay. Um, if I were to sort of explain how it's sort of different in a different type of court, we may be here until the wee hour of the morning.
Oh wow.
But when it comes to impacting the child support number,
Mm-hmm.
right? Away from all of those things, what I pay to live, my rent, my car insurance, what you pay to live, outside of all of that, expenses directly for the child, they look at those three things: health insurance premiums, out of pocket health costs, and childcare.
See, Joy. Hey, Joy. Joy is saying, I figured that was you. Childcare in Oregon is $1,200 a month
Oh, Lord, for everybody?
for a school age child in Oregon. Childcare is $1,200. That's for one. 1,200 for one.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mercy.
Wow.
So so that $1,400 just done.
You understand?
So a couple making combined $10,000 in Florida as it stands right now according to this
Mm-hmm.
chart is roughly 1470 that they're paying.
1437, so
Oh,
roughly 1440.
1440
Mm-hmm.
for one child
Mm-hmm.
is considered the amount. So
Mm-hmm.
just what's that? 1.4. Wait, 10,000, $1,000. That's 10%. So 10.4% roughly.
Look at you.
I do remember some math.
I became a lawyer to get away from math to the extent possible. And I know I'm not alone.
So here we go. For a child, for all day child care for a non-school age is $2,700 for one child in Oregon.
In Oregon. Woo-hoo.
Maybe
Well, listen,
maybe you need to
listen,
move your practice to Oregon.
listen. How many days is their bar exam? I
Wow.
like a challenge. I like a challenge. Right? Now, that brings us to the final step of the child support
Okay.
calculation.
Hmm.
And I want to see if I skipped over any other myths on the way here. So, yeah, don't go emptying a bag of receipts on your lawyer's head when you go to visit them, please.
Yeah.
Unless there are receipts for, you know what I think? I really think tuition should be on that list. If, and don't get me wrong,
hmm
there are exceptions to everything. Generally speaking, the court cannot order private school and for you to pay tuition if that's not something the child has already been doing, right? In a divorce case, if they're, they've already established a lifestyle for the children where they're, you know, used to going to private school and that's on par for their lifestyle, then yeah, the judge could order that be maintained.
hmm
But, for the most part, when a judge sees tuition being paid, it doesn't get taken into account. And I mean, I get that, right? A
Because they have
child
the
is
option for
not
public
going to
school.
be homeless if they don't get to go to a private school. I get that, but
Got you.
it adds up. The dollars and cents add up. All right.
Although sometimes the dollars don't make sense.
Sometimes the dollars don't make sense.
So, all right. So, Joy just keeps dropping these bombs on us. If the child is in diapers, it's $3,000 a month. so
No
so
way.
hold on. So here it is, our little $10,000
Wait, well,
that
listen, we're talking USD, American dollars here.
Joy is in Oregon. Yeah, we're talking US dollars.
Goodness gracious.
So I'm, I don't know how much it is for a child to get childcare these days in South Florida. To be honest, I do not know.
I mean, it can be anywhere between. A lot of people are using like little neighborhood type outfits
Yeah.
or family, but formally you're looking at usually somewhere like 200 a week.
Okay, so let's use a round average. You're talking about $1,000 a month,
Mm, 800 to $1,000.
and that is just a regular school age child, not the ones in diapers.
I have not seen adjustments for the the age or developmental stage.
Oh,
No, I usually don't hear of that.
oh
I
wow,
hardly ever hear of that. Yeah,
wow. Things I guess are different in Oregon.
yeah. I really never. Yeah, I don't hear of that really.
So
Not that it doesn't happen. You know.
so here we are when we were together making $10,000. It was expected that we would have been spending a little bit over 10% on this one child.
Right. Well, regardless of the state of the relationship, they just our incomes are combined forever.
Oh, that's how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, they're looking at your current income.
Oh,
You could you
so
you could have gone off and given your next girlfriend the ring that I always wanted but never got.
oh my goodness. So here it is. No, this is not taking or does it later get factored in that our cost of living. So our rent is X. We travel Y distance to the job, and we get
Hmm.
paid Q.
See,
That equation,
cost,
that part, that gets factored in
all of that
later
already
on.
got factored into the to that guideline number,
Oh
which is
no!
why, mhm, which is why different
Wow.
combined different co-parents have different guideline numbers for the same one child. For
Mm,
example, I'm looking at the guideline now. whereas the state of Florida thinks we would be spending $14.40 a month, one child for a co-parenting pair or set of co-parents whose combined monthly net income is $8,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it goes down to $13.10 for those folks. Same, one child.
That's not that much different.
You see, it's not that much different. And the lower you go, the lower that number goes, even though we're still talking about one child here. It doesn't go down to 0.75 child or half a child, right?
Right.
So they already key our incomes to a certain, like you said, these cost of living and lifestyle considerations.
Wow.
As based on typical data,
So
right?
if we were making combined 50,000, then
Per month.
per month, yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
so
triggered
we're
you
big
triggered a
balling now.
special rule there.
We're big balling.
You triggered a special rule there,
Yeah.
okay? Because now the guidelines only go up to 10,000.
Oh?
So if now you want to figure child support for I'm just going to use the word family,
Mm-hmm.
where the parents are making a combined over that amount, then you're gonna take the guideline amount, that's the 1440, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then however much we're making over 10,000, we're gonna multiply that by a certain percentage depending on how many kids, right? So here for us, that number is 40,000.
Okay.
Our combined income is $40,000 above that 10,000. So
That's 4
if
times
we
as
had
much.
6 children, we would have to add 40,000, 12.5% of 40,000 to the 1440. If we had 3 children, we would have to add 9.5% of 40,000 to that 1440. Since we have one child, we take 5% of 40,000,
That's
which
what.
is 2,000.
Uh-huh.
Check me on that. And then we add it to the 1440. So now our guideline number is 3,440. And then they go through the rest of those steps to figure out how much of that 3,440 you should be paying and how much I should be paying.
But all right, so clearly there's no exact science to this whole calculation of child
But
support.
they tried.
Because here's why I say that.
They created a science.
Yeah, but when you have a couple combined making $10,000
Mm-hmm.
and 1,400 out of that 10 is child support for one child. But now you have a couple combined making 50,000 and it's only 3,000. Not even 5. It doesn't even get to 10%. That's what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But you're extrapolating from the idea that the guideline number is just this percentage of our combined income.
Right.
That's not how they get the guideline number.
Do they know how they get the guideline
You were
number?
right that the 1440 is a certain percentage of 10,000. That's true, but that's not how they got that number.
Do they know how they get that number?
Oh, don't bring back my headache, DJ Kevin. Are you gonna make me put down the mug and reach for the glass now?
You see,
Yes, they actually do. They actually do in the law. They have sort of like notes and the history of the statute. You can go in there and see how they arrive at these. It's not in maybe like in the statute itself. You have to sort of read the publications about how changes are made to the laws each year.
right.
They'll have those notes, that kind of thing in there, right? Um, what's called legislative history. You can read the legislative history and see how they arrived at these things. But a lot of it
That
is
sounds like
census
punishment.
data.
That sounds like something
A
you'd
lot of
you'd
it
give
is
me to
census
read
data.
if I gave trouble in school. You just give me that and said, "Here's your
Oh
punishment."
God, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my lord. Come on, DJ. We're nerds. We would read that stuff for fun.
Shh! Don't be talking about my business, man.
Oh Lord. But yeah, yeah. So that's where you can sort of get misled if you're thinking, okay, the guideline number is a certain percentage. To the extent there is an extent to which it is, but again, they did a whole bunch of computing in the back room, right? And then they just gave us the chart.
Okay.
And this is why when the courts use this formula, the number that comes out of it, it's presumptive,
Mm.
right? There is some room to challenge the result,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
Um, I'll give you a fun example in a little while too. So here we are. We have completed all but one step
Hmm.
of the child support calculation.
Okay.
So now we're getting to the step where our first myth comes in, the 50-50 myth.
Right.
Because now, oh, let's come up with our imaginary numbers. Who pays daycare? You and me split daycare, right?
Right.
So we have one kid. Let's say we pay $800 for daycare.
Right.
Okay, I pay I pay 200 of that,
Is
and you
that
pay the rest.
is that our agreement or is that the court telling us that?
No, that's just what we've been doing. We haven't.
Okay.
We're gonna go to court, and this is what we're gonna testify to when we go to court. When the court asks, "Is there daycare and who pays?" Well, Your Honor, I pay $200 of it, and he pays 600.
Okay.
Okay, so let me put that in my program here.
Mm-hmm. So it's good that you're running some actual numbers with this
Oh
thing.
yes, oh
Yeah.
yes.
So people have an idea of what we're talking about.
So that's the other myth or problem, is that we're going into court as potential payors and we're getting sandbagged because we don't know that there is a way to try to figure out at least a rough estimate of what you could be paying. And you don't know what's going to happen until you get to the final hearing. And that is the worst time to find out. The worst
Wow.
time. So, I would love for whoever have a child support case to sit down with me or some lawyer about it. But even if you don't go to a lawyer, it's not perfect, but there is an all right. There's an adequate ish child support simulator free on the Florida Supreme Court website.
Okay.
Yeah, you could go there and go through each of the steps like you and I are going through. Now, it's not as sophisticated as the programs, the judges and attorneys, what we use in court.
Okay.
Um, but my Lord, it's better than nothing.
At least it gives you a ballpark.
It gives you a ballpark
Gotcha.
figure, right? So I pay $200 a month for child support. And so how much comes out of your check for their health insurance each month? We're gonna assume that's you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna say that $250. I want to say a kind of offish number, like $330 comes out of your paychecks each month for our child's health care.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's not all that comes out. Really, 580 comes out a month, but 330 is the part that's for the kid, and that's what the court's gonna look at.
So that's 330
Hmm.
plus the 600.
Oh, you're tabulating your side. I see.
So that's already 930. Yeah. So looking at these two
Right.
things already, that's already 930 out of the 1440.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. You stay there. Let me give you this. I'll give you this. You are correct for this step of the calculation. It's not over until the fat lady sings.
Oh boy.
And due to COVID, I am now that lady.
Okay.
So I'm going to sing soon.
Mm-hmm.
I am putting in now, let's say the kid has got braces. And
Okay.
for some reason, it's not covered under the insurance from your job. So
Mm-hmm.
I pay $100. It's not totally covered. So I pay the orthodontist $100 a month for the braces.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my little side tabulating over here too. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not paying
So
anything
at
towards
this
the
point,
braces.
yeah, what's that?
I'm not paying anything towards the braces because a
Your
portion of
insurance
it.
covered it. Covered
Okay. Cool.
covered all but $100 of it. So I'm paying that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you don't have any time, any what used to be called custody or now time sharing
Mm-hmm.
with the kid, then this is where it ends. And I can tell you, after all those different back back room calculations that's in the statute and turned into this formula,
Yeah.
your child support amount that you will, because you will be paying me
Mm-hmm.
again. Well, let me correct myself. We both have child support amounts, right? The
Right.
1,400 applies to both of us, right? And then there are things that we're paying outside of that.
Okay.
Okay. So I have, because I'm going to read you my child support number and your child support number, and I don't want you to feel um, weird if the two numbers don't equal the 1437 exactly, because we put in some adjustments.
All right. Let me hear this now. Let me hear this. Let me hear this.
So they consider my share, right?
Mm-hmm.
They consider my share $482.60 a month. Okay,
482. Okay. Using
482
round
is
numbers.
my share,
480 is your share. All right.
right? So I'm not, now your share is bigger than mine. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm not making a payment to you. So because your share is bigger than mine, you're giving me the difference of our shares, or you're paying your share over to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yours is $842.40.
So mine is 840. Yours is 440.
480,
480.
right?
Okay. All right.
We started with a guideline of 1,400, but there's some things that are being paid that are not a part of that whole backroom uh, set of considerations. So it brings our particular number, what we're spending, up. And so the formula has equalized it to give you credit for what you're paying and give me credit for what I'm paying. And in a way, give me credit, not credit. How do I say this?
Subsidy?
Give me, I get credit for what I'm paying, you get credit for what you're paying, and then it's almost as if you get credit for what I'm not paying, and I get credit for what you're not paying.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me, you rather listen to this than read the statute. So, so my number's 482, and your number is 842. So you're paying 842 to me.
Okay, so out of the 930 that I calculated, I'm paying 840. So a $90 adjustment based on the initial calculation.
Doesn't that sound close to the $100 I'm paying the orthodontist?
It kind of does.
Okay. Now, that is with you seeing the kid, but he or she never sleeps over by you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's no overnights. That's how Florida looks at time sharing. How many overnights do you have with the child or the children? So the 50-50 comes in because, again, somewhere, someone's telling everybody, when you have 50-50, no one has to pay child support. So that's why, they come into my office or we go into court and I say, don't say 50-50. Say, I want this type of schedule, because it raises the judge's eyebrows sometimes. It's just like, listen, 50-50 doesn't help me decide what the schedule should be. It sounds like you're just trying to fit something into a calculation, right? So you don't want to talk like that when you go into court. Now,
So if I got weekends, and so I get what, Friday afternoon to Sunday evening or Monday morning. So I pick up the child Friday evening from school, and I take them to school Monday morning, and then you have them for the remainder of the time that week.
Okay, so then the question is,
so
how many overnights is that per year?
Away the blows and skirt.
What does that come out to? They want to know how many overnights you got for the year, pal. For the year.
Okay, so even calculating the overnights gets a little bit hairy, because holidays tend to be a little bit different. So you have spring break, you have summer break, you have winter break in the mix, outside of your regular weekends. Oh wow. Yeah.
So you get all of that up. So let's say you said weekends, you pick up Friday to Sunday?
Right.
Okay.
So Friday
So
night,
that's
Saturday
Friday
night, Sunday night. 3 nights a week.
3 nights. So you either dropping off to school Monday or dropping back to me Monday.
I dropping off to school Monday morning. I pick up from school
Friday.
Friday.
Because you don't want to see my face.
As little as possible.
As it should be.
Your new husband can look at you.
Right? So 3 overnights. And you're saying that's I mean, if the court does it, it wouldn't be every weekend. They never give one parent every weekend if things are normal and nothing's going wrong. So, um,
Okay, so every other
that's
weekend.
every other weekend. Now, instead of saying 3 times 26, because that means we're doing that all year, you want to take into account that we split the summer
Right. And Christmas.
and the winter. All right, now. So we split the winter break, and then let's say um, Thanksgiving break and spring break canceled each other out. Let's just say that,
Okay.
hypothetically, for our
Okay.
example. So we
Right.
don't even have to worry about that, right? So summer's 10 weeks, winter break is 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
So that's 6 weeks.
what's 6 weeks?
If we're splitting those
We're
half and
splitting
half,
the, yeah,
so it's
six
six
weeks for
weeks
me,
each.
6 weeks for you, right?
Right.
So this is how I like to do it. 52 weeks. I'm going to remove those 14 weeks from the year for a second.
Mm.
Leaves us with 38 weeks. So every other week out of those 38, you have 3 overnights. You understand? So
Okay.
that's 19 weeks times 3. That's 57 overnights for you plus 42 of the summer plus 6 of the winter. So you have 105 overnights, which leaves me with 260
And
overnights.
and you tried to get away from math.
Eh? Dude, what happened? We were such good friends once.
And then we
What
had this
happened to
kid.
us? Dang it. So, yeah. Now that puts you at 105,
Mm-hmm.
right? But before I even do that, okay, I'm gonna put you at 70. With you having 70 overnights for the year and me having 295,
Mm-hmm.
the child support has not changed from when you had zero time at all,
Wow.
because we have not reached, this is the magic number nobody knows about. We have not reached 20%. Now, you reach 20%, 20% of 365, that's a year, is 73. So now, instead of 70 overnights, I'm going to put you at 74 overnights for the year and tell you what happens now. Instead of paying 842 to me, hold on,
See,
that actually should be.
this is where things get it really interesting because people don't talk about these things. People talk about what they think it's supposed to is supposed to happen. I guess based on linear calculations in their head, based on fixed numbers.
Right. So I've had a lot of people come to me and say, like they actually sit and they write out everything they spend on their child, and they think that's what the court is going to do.
Mm.
They don't know that there's all of this sophisticated, and like I was saying earlier, a lot of this is census data that goes
Oh.
into them coming up with what the guidelines should be, and these cost of living, augmentations. So we get into all of that. Let's put you now at the 105, right? You're well over the 20%. Let's put you at the 105. By the way, our child's birthday It's a random date in 2020. I didn't even bother choosing it. Oh dear. You're filing single. I'm filing head of household.
I don't even
I,
know when my child's birthday is.
no way. I just thought I would let you know,
Wow.
Just thought I would let you know.
So,
All right. So now you have 105 overnight,
yes.
and I have 260. So you're well over the 20% mark.
Mm-hmm.
Your child support is now $730.
From the 800 and...
Hmm. Now, this is why the 50-50 myth is so popular. Okay, I'm going to give us 50-50 right now. I'm going to put you at 182 overnights for the year and 183 for me because I'm petty like that.
Okay.
I
Claim it.
have to be the three, okay?
Claim it. Go ahead. I give that to you.
So now with us having equal time sharing, you would pay me $311 a month.
Mm. Got you.
Right? So that myth is so pervasive because there's some truth to it. You see, it cut 500 something dollars down, but it did not make the child support go away.
Right.
Okay. It's based, there's different factors. Now, let's say you and I made the same amount of money each month. We both split the costs that we discussed equally. Then maybe the child support number would be close to zero, or I would be paying you a few cents or a couple of bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
All other things being equal, equal time sharing will knock out child support,
Got you.
right? But these
Once
things,
there's a difference in the income, though,
difference in the income, difference
somebody's
in
gonna
who's
get
paying
paid.
what for certain expenses, even difference in tax filing status, even if we're close in income,
So if I'm
then
fine, if I now start filing married joint,
uh,
and you're filing single,
so
or
you want me to, all right, I'm filing head of household and you're filing single. Let's see if there is a change with, because you got all brand new,
well,
you got
it's
all
tax
brand
time. Right
new.
now, it's tax time.
Right
Let's
now it's tax time.
and I'm that hot commodity.
Yeah, man, you ran off and gave her the ring that I should have gotten.
That's what you said. No, nobody's talking about that ring that you got
Yeah.
immediately after, but it's okay.
So
It's okay. I only
with
recently
you,
gave the
your
ring.
child support went up with you going from filing single to filing jointly with your, you know,
The new
new
boo.
ride over there.
So, so
Your
no,
your
it is.
child support went up by $60.
The assumption is because now I have additional income in my
Mm,
household
you
that I
know it.
should be able to take care of that.
You know it,
Got you. So
right?
it no
It's
longer
hard to
becomes
see the
just me and
percentages
you.
of. Hmm. Well, and that's the next myth I want to tackle is that for child support, the spouse's income is taken into account. No, 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 no. I have a lot of spouses of child support payors ask me about this,
Hmm.
right? Or, my clients who want to get married and they don't want to see their spouse negatively affected,
Right.
right? That is not how it goes. You can get married. The only way the court will have uh, opportunity, or the other side will have opportunity to dig into your spouse's finances if you are using the spouse to hide your income.
But that would have to be
Like I
proven,
said,
though,
where
wouldn't it?
there's a bill, there's a way. They're gonna find it.
Wow.
But if everything's on the up and up, you know, then they your spouse's income will never be taken into account. What I mean by access is looking at your spouse's bank accounts and things
Right,
like that.
right,
Their
right.
documents,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those things are protected because their income doesn't. But if you're using them, their accounts, their name, to hide what you have coming in, then yeah, it's fair game.
So, if I'm married, filing jointly, my portion goes up. If I'm married, filing separately, it also goes up.
Let's see.
Because like I said, it is tax
In
time.
relation to that three, that because it was 311 and
Yeah.
it jumped up to 371, but instead of being, now it's back to the same 311 with you filing separately. Because the credit, or the exemption you would get, the deduction is the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You notice when you're married filing separately, it's not as high
Yeah.
as the deduction you could take when you're married filing jointly.
Right.
Okay. Now let's say, let me see something here. We're back at 311. You're married, but you're filing separately.
Mm-hmm. And that's with us being even with everything.
That's with what now?
That's well, that's not that's with us having equal time, with the
Equal
exception of your
time. Equal time.
with the exception of
We
your
got you
one
out of
day.
the $800 woods because you have equal time. Now, let's make you the majority time parent. Huh?
Ooh, yeah.
Will you?
Now we're talking. Let's go.
No, we're talking.
Let's go.
Now I have 105 overnights
Right.
for the year, and you have the 260.
Mm-hmm.
You want to guess the impact before I tell you?
I am guessing that you wouldn't be paying me anything.
Oh, I'm still not paying you anything. That's for sure. But but I mean, you're only paying me $54 at that point. Now it's interesting, right? Because
Wait,
you have the
I have the
child
child all the time.
56% of the year. What
I have the
you
child all the time.
understanding?
I am paying the health insurance.
But,
I am paying the majority of
right,
daycare. You're only paying $100 to the braces,
right.
and
But
I'm still paying
I'm
you
only
$54.
making another $2,500 a month. You making 7,500. You're making 7,500 to my 25.
I protest.
They always do.
See, that is why I quit my job. That right there.
Oh dear. This is why you magically quit your job. You just happened to lose it right before trial.
Jeez, boy.
Mr. Stu, what happened? What happened to your job? What happened? Oh, I got caught stealing pens and I was fired. Oh, okay. So your unemployment was monetary. I'm still going to calculate the child support as if you were making $7,500.
But wait. I didn't
Uh,
voluntarily get caught stealing the pens. What do you mean? Your Honor,
yeah,
I
yeah.
object.
If you are at fault for your termination, then the court can deem that voluntary unemployment. There's actually a very sexy court case about this, where a dad. The dad was the payor. He appealed the child support order
Mm-hmm.
because he was in jail and he could not work. And the court said, no, you
What?
lost your job. Now, I haven't gotten to the wrinkle yet. So this is a voluntary loss of employment, right? You went to jail. It was your wrongdoing that sent you there. So you voluntarily lost your job. And we're going to calculate the child support at the same income. Um, I want you to take a wild guess what he was in jail for.
Drugs?
Oh no, that he would probably be a better person if it were just drugs.
Embezzlement?
One more guess.
Tax evasion?
There was an evasion, an attempted evasion, but not of taxes. He was in prison for trying to kill the mother in order to escape the child support obligation.
I can't. I just can't.
This poor woman. He tried to kill her. He had a hit put on her. He got caught, went to jail, and then he said, well, look.
No, he should be made to pay. He should be made to pay twice as much.
Since I'm in jail.
No. He should be made to pay regardless because here's his. You going to you have the money to pay someone to go and try and kill your wife to get out of paying child support to your wife. No man, he deserves to pay
I'm
extra.
remembering that part correctly. I don't think he tried to do it with his own hands. I do believe he hired someone.
Yeah, but he's supposed to pay extra. I listen. No, he needs to pay extra.
Look, in goes the numbers into the formula, and out pops the child support.
I only disagree with that judge because he calculated it at the same amount. That judge should have calculated it at more because this man could have taken money to pay someone to go and try to kill his wife so that he doesn't pay her for child support. Child support!
Listen, when she was pregnant, when he thought she was pregnant with one, that was one thing. But when he found out she was having twins, he was like, she got to go.
Oh, wow. So it was while she was pregnant that he was trying to kill her?
Oh, yes.
With his kids?
Yes.
Nah, you see,
She's got to go.
No,
oh boy.
no, nah.
Voluntary unemployment. It comes in many forms. So,
you know, on the surface, when you said he was in prison, his argument was, you know, I was incarcerated, so I couldn't work. With just that, it's like, come on, seriously, you're gonna calculate it for but when you find out what he's in prison for, yeah. So hold on. Does that mean that anybody incarcerated while paying child support and not able to pay their child support because of incarceration, that it is applied the same way?
oh, it's not so clear. So they're always going to look into the circumstances surrounding it, right? But by and large, because child support really is supposed to be based on the parent's ability to pay. And if you're, incarcerated, you don't have the ability to work and pay it.
But the argument, no, with that.
But
that incarceration thing is saying that you did something that made you be incarcerated.
Here's the rub, right? And I agree with you as far as disagreeing with the judge. Because my thing is, I've seen judges apply that case in any situation where the payor is incarcerated. I don't think that should be the case, but that's what the courts are doing. That's what many of the courts are doing. In that case, that court used the phrase he's incarcerated, and here's the phrase I'm talking about. In furtherance, he was incarcerated for something he did in furtherance of trying to evade child support. You
Got
understand?
you. Got
And
you.
I think that's how that case should be applied to other cases. Not just are you incarcerated, but, or not even incarcerated, just not employed. If you are unemployed because you did something in furtherance of a plan to evade child support,
Right.
then we're going to bust you anyway. That I believe in,
Okay.
you know.
I'm with you
But
with
the
that one.
courts are just, you know, it's just sort of like a cookie cutter, stamped, stamp and go type of thing, where they're just like, oh, you're incarcerated. Well, whatever you did, it was voluntary, blah, 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 and we're going to go ahead and impute income to you. We're talking about imputation of income is what this is all called, right?
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
the guy that gets arrested for selling drugs because he needed extra money to
that
pay the
was my
child
next
support.
question to you. That was my next question to you. What do you think happens there?
Well, I'm thinking that the judge is gonna say the same thing. You caused, you did something so that you ended up in prison.
Okay,
Although that
so
thing
I've
that you
seen,
were doing was trying to make that money, you need to go and get another job above on the books versus trying to do something illegal.
hmm
That's the
so
argument.
I've seen, I've seen different courts decide it different ways, but basically, they, and let me just make sure I'm remembering this right.
Hmm.
They will impute the income to you that you're making from the drugs if there's evidence that you're also able to make that type of money through legal pursuits.
So I don't have
Even
a
if you're not
degree.
doing it, if you're able to do it, then fine. We're going to impute that. If you were using your powers elsewhere.
I don't have a degree to earn a six-figure salary, and I'm selling drugs, making six figures. And so the argument there is if I could have made six figures selling drugs, I could go out there and get a job to earn six figures.
That's the argument. It has to be supported by evidence, but yes, that's the argument.
But if I don't have the degree to get the six-figure job, then there's evidence that I cannot legally have a six-figure job.
I mean, that's only one thing that goes to your earning ability, your education. Right? I mean, come on now. Bill Gates didn't finish college. That's
Yeah,
only
but there
one
were some
part.
other things in place that,
Yeah, oh, I hear you. I'm hearing you. I hear you.
wow.
But again, depending on where you are in Florida, these cases, they can come down different ways, right?
Right.
The courts try their best to be consistent amongst the different, areas. But there's some areas where a case might be decided this way, and then when you go to North Florida or the West Coast, it'll be decided a completely different way. Sometimes those will go to the, Supreme Court, so that the Supreme Court can sort of iron it all out and say, well, listen, we're going to end the conflict between the opinions here, and this is how Florida is going to handle these from here on out. But sometimes the different uh, appeals courts, the different areas,
Hmm.
they just handle things differently, and that's just how it is.
Wow. All I got is wow.
So what have we learned? Don't try to kill your baby mother. Don't do it.
Especially when you're carrying your twins.
Especially case. You understand?
After she has the kids, then maybe you could try. No, 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 don't try at all.
Listen, if mom not gonna be there, then whoever gonna have those kids after you go to jail, you're gonna be paying child support to them.
Oh Lord.
Oh yes. If it's grandma, you're gonna be paying grandma child support. If it's a stranger, you're gonna be paying the stranger. If it's a state, you're gonna
And
be
it's
paying the
calculated
state.
the same way.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, they don't even. I don't even think they put the third party's income in there. It's just all you.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
I believe so because it's always the parents. The law is child support is the obligation of the parents. But if a third party is minding your child for you, when they do the calculation, they're still going to use the parents' income. Because what if your child ends up a ward of the state and hits the you know not that being a ward of the state can ever really be a jackpot. So just so to speak, hits the jackpot and the person caring for them is a millionaire. I
Mm-hmm.
don't take you off the hook for supporting the child.
Oh
So,
Lord have mercy.
no way. Now, if mom was the millionaire, well, yeah. You remember the Dave Chappelle skit where Oprah called him and said that she was pregnant with his child?
No.
You
I
know?
missed that one.
No way! Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Now you gotta make me pull that up when I get off of the program.
Mm.
But yes, yes, yes. That is how it goes. There's just so much to it. There's so many folds to the discussion, as much drama as you can think of just in personal life. There's a whole field of legal study that grows out of it, and it's just so interesting. You know, we have, you know, we haven't gotten through all the myths, but we definitely got through how child support is calculated.
Well, the fact that
Basically.
yeah. So the fact that your your tax filing status plays a role
Hmm.
in how that is also calculated. You know,
Hmm.
it's because people look at when you have children, whomever is filing for that child, that person, that parent usually smiles. That
So let's talk about that.
in 9 minutes, well, 9 minutes before I get done. So in five
Well,
minutes,
I told you it was going to be a short conversation
okay.
because now the state courts don't even mess with that anymore. Since the tax laws changed under the outgoing administration, it used to be that the the family judge can say, "Well, listen, DJ Kevin, you could claim the child even years. Tasha, you claim the child odd years." Or if it was two children, you claim this one and you claim that one, and then when the oldest one turned 18, then the two of you take
Alternate
turns.
years.
Uh huh. Now, um, there's been changes in the tax law. The state court don't even mess with the credit anymore. Just whoever's entitled to it under the federal tax code, you get it. And what the federal tax code says is if you have the child more than 50% of the year and provide more than 50% of the support, then you file, you claim. That's it. Short conversation.
So you have the child 50%, and you pay over 50%. You get that tax.
Yeah. Yeah, and the custody is the stronger factor,
So
honestly. So,
now this comes back to where we originally met, what we talked about with parental alienation.
uh-huh. Do you see why so many are motivated to do it now?
Just federal tax money. Yo, hey, listen. Hey,
Tax
yo,
money, child support
hey.
number.
See? That right there. That's why we can't get along.
Sure.
That is why we can't get along. Listen, Attorney Simmons, Counselor,
Yes, sir.
please give your contact information.
I can be reached at 888-311-8511. That is my toll-free number. If you're calling me from anywhere outside of Florida, outside of South Florida, feel free to use that number. Even if you're in South Florida, you can use that locally. 954-271-1411. My website is www.simmonslegal.com. That's SIMMONDS legal.com. And whatever you need to reach me, you can find there. And I will have my my marketing person says I need something on Facebook, so I'll have a business page on Facebook. You can hear me rolling my eyes. Oh, I'm gonna listen
I
to
don't know
my
how you're gonna
counsel,
work
but
out Instagram and Twitter,
yeah, yep.
all the
All of that
social media
is coming.
platforms.
Yes, sir. But
Checking you out
I
on
can be
LinkedIn.
reached by, yes. If you can't, oh gosh, LinkedIn's just the worst. It's the worst. But yeah, if you want to reach me, it's better to call the toll-free number 888-311-8511. If you try to reach me on social media, you'll just be redirected to calling that number. So
But
go
your
ahead and give
website
it a
though.
call. The website, you can do a short little intake on there if you want us to reach out to you. We're going to end up calling you, and it's going to be the same thing. So,
But at least you get
no
some
money will
information on the
disappear
website.
from your bank account if you call us and schedule a 15-minute consult. You won't be sent a bill.
Right.
Our initial 15-minute consults are free. They're always free. So,
Well, y'all got the website. Y'all got the phone numbers. If you didn't, then this broadcast will be up on the podcast platforms in the morning, so you can rewind and write down and rewind and write down this section all you want. Okay, Tasha.
wonderful.
Tasha, thank you very much for again agreeing to each and every fourth Monday, as all things being equal, to be here with
Right?
us on the night shift.
Thank you for
So,
having
talking
me.
family law. It's your spot. I told you it's your spot. So
Yeah,
it's my
yeah.
pleasure to have you.
I'm gonna stretch out here, man. I'm gonna stretch out here. Don't worry.
Tasha, thank you much. You
Yes,
enjoy
sir.
the rest of your night. We will talk, okay?
Do the same. Have a good one. Good night, everyone.
Alrighty. Tasha Simmonds, ladies and gentlemen. As we get into musical therapy, this is Crescenti. It's called Losing Battle. New music from Crescenti. Those of you that caught him Saturday in the Saturday Stew on Reggae Global Radio.
A losing battle is not my game. Rasta don't play that my game.
You got an idea who Crescenti is. This track is called Losing Battle.
Losing battle and a game. I might not play that my game.
This is how I bounce on out of here tonight.
Can't we Rasta crown? And then so we come on in his own. To
Thank you each and everyone for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your support. Catch you tomorrow. Healthy Love Tuesday. We'll do this all over again, 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Alan Worldwide. Thank you, NIE Radio. ClintonLindsay.com, Foundation Radio Network. WGLRO, One Harmony Radio. PEMGTV.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all take care until we do it again. Remember, look out for members of your community. Your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Those you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, or on the train, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. Y'all take care. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you. Good night from right here in South Florida. Take care. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot, where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.